Okay, I think we can get started. So for the recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's practice. This is the second practice of the Monday classes in the series. And this month we are focusing on Ayurveda. And just as a reminder, what is Ayurveda? Well, Ayurveda is a sister science of yoga, sister technology. And it is the knowledge of life. Whilst yoga helps us discover more about the self, it is the knowledge of the self. Ayurveda, on the other hand, allows us and gives us wisdom so that we can engage with our environment in such a way that we live a life at ease, a life which is balanced, a life which can be harmonious. So today's practice is focusing on the Vata dosha. So in Ayurveda, we have, as I explained to you last week, in Ayurveda, the 5 elements are actually combined by prana, which is that cosmic intelligent life force. So prana combines the 5 elements and it turns into these 3 energies. And we have the Vata dosha, the Pitta dosha, and the Kapha dosha. And today, this week, we're going to be focusing on Vata. And Vata is one of the most important of the 3. And because it is actually the one that is the easiest one to come out of balance. So Vata governs communication and movement. That means all movement. It is very, very closely related and very strongly related to our nervous system. So Vata is actually really easy to come out of balance. And actually right now, the age that we're living in, it's a Vata dominant age because we have lots of screens around. We have a lot of distractions around. There's a lot of movement. Life is being lived at a very fast pace. And this all can be very aggravating for the Vata energy. Vata is made out of the elements of air and sound. So maybe we remember that air is connected to touch. And did I say air and sound? I did. And the elements of air and space. Air is connected to touch and space is connected to sound. So to balance Vata, we want to be looking at practices that are warming, nourishing, and calming. So in today's yoga practice, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to practice at a slow, smooth, and steady pace. And there are a couple of other things that I wanted to say about Vata. So, when we have bursts of creativity and enthusiasm and vitality, that is the Vata reflected. And this is when Vata is in balance, Vata is harmonious within the constitution of the body. But when Vata is out of balance, that's when we can become, that's when we can start having nervous system disorders. Things like anxiety, fear, inability to relax, insomnia is a big thing. And I cannot explain how many people I've been speaking to that I know of that have trouble sleeping. And it is all to do with Vata. Now, there's something else about these doshas, which is really interesting, because this is why it is the knowledge of life. So each of these doshas govern a particular time of the day and night, but they also govern over seasons. So Vata season begins somewhere mid-autumn. So I would say end of September, beginning of October. And it goes all the way through winter. And it finishes around end of January, beginning of February, when it changes to another dosha. And that to be discussed in a further classes. So Vata season is late autumn to winter. And really that is the time when the nervous system is the most delicate and it is the easiest for Vata to come out of balance. Now, we're going to reduce it. We were looking at the seasons and now we're going to look at a day. Now within a day, as I said, each of the doshas governs over particular hours. Vata, the Vata kind of energy is, let's say, in the air between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. Right? So 2 a.m. at night until 6 a.m. in the morning, and 2 p.m. in the afternoon and 6 p.m. in the afternoon. So Vata is that 2 to 6 a.m. and p.m. What is it a good time for? Well, first of all, it's a good time to sleep. At night is a very good time to sleep. We tend to have more, we tend to go more into the dream state though when Vata time starts to appear at night. Also in yoga, there is such a thing which is called the Brahma Muhurta, which is the time when the sun rises or just before the sun rises, when it is actually ideal to do meditation and to do any kind of spiritual practices, because it is said that at that time you are a step closer to the ethereal realms with which you are communicating. So it is actually much easier to perform meditation, to sit down for meditation during these times, 2 a.m., 6 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m. This is a good time where you can kind of like harness creativity in ways that are also grounding. So Vata requires a lot of grounding because it's very bubbly and it can be very airy. As I said, it's full of ideas, but for all of those ideas to be put into practice and, to be able to finish with those ideas, Vata also needs a lot of grounding. So, oh, yes, just one more thing that I wanted to add is that if you're working with the doshas, Vata is one of the doshas that you can really tackle balancing Vata dosha by through routine. Vata loves routine because routine gives the grounding, gives the ability to be steady and stable. And then from there, it's so much easier to increase that vitality, to be bubbly, to be creative, to be engaged with life, but grounded. When we're steady, then we can do anything. When we're grounded, we can do anything. Yes, so this is what I wanted to say about Vata, and we're going to begin our practice now after the little introduction. The props that you'll be needing for today, we're going to start in Shavasana, then we'll move through Asana, and at the end, we're going to be seated for pranayama and meditation. So for the beginning of the practice, we're actually going to take Shavasana with the knees bent, so you're not going to need a chair unless you really like having a chair, in which case I invite you to bring the chair. Just make sure you have extra propping for knees. So if you're on a hard wooden floor or something, just make sure you have blankets or something. Anything extra, because we're going to be on our knees a little bit, and you might benefit from having a couple of blocks. And yes, a seat at the end of the practice. So definitely have a cushion, bolster, whatever you need, whatever you normally use for an elevated seat. And without further ado, I'm going to stop talking now. So let's lie down in Shavasana. I think my cat has already decided to take Shavasana. So we're going to lie down. And as I said, if you don't have the chair, that's fine. We're going to take Shavasana with the knees bent. And once you've lied down, you can bend your knees and take your feet maybe as wide as your mat or as your rug, and you can let your knees kind of fall in towards each other. And then you don't need to hold your legs anymore. They're supported. And you can let your arms rest beside the body with the palms open towards the sky, or if you'd like, you can rest your hands on your belly, wherever it feels comfortable. And allow yourself just a few moments to arrive, to settle here, and giving yourself a few breaths, a few moments. Maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Slowly letting the body become heavy, finding the support beneath you, the ground beneath you, the steady and stable earth. This is what Vata needs. Vata is full of air and space, so it's very light, very mobile. So in order to bring it into balance, we bring in the earthy quality. So leaning into the earth beneath you, beginning to soften through your facial muscles, relaxing through your jaw and tongue, allowing your breath to move naturally, easefully, finding a rhythm of its own, a natural rhythm, whatever you need right now. And just give yourself a few moments to really let your whole body become heavy, feeling the contact between your back body and the earth, your head, your shoulders, your arms, your back body, including your pelvis, the back of your hips, your feet, your toes, everything on the ground, on the earth. And as you breathe here, smoothly, easily, allowing your breath to become fuller, deeper, longer, letting your awareness come to your breath now. Allow yourself to breathe through your belly, watching your navel rise and fall as you breathe in and out. And if there's any thoughts that may be lingering in your mind, letting go of those thoughts and letting your awareness settle on your breath. Becoming present, becoming aware. And it's not that you're forgetting the thoughts, you're aware of the thoughts, and then you choose to take your awareness to your breath. So we acknowledge the thoughts, we acknowledge their presence, but we're not going to get stuck on them. Allow your whole body to be heavy. And allow yourself to feel that contact between your body and the earth, feeling that stability, the support, the foundation from where you can rise, from where you can move. But letting your whole body ground, land first, landing in your body, landing on the earth, being present and aware. Allow yourself a few more moments here, just resting, lying on the earth. Allowing any heaviness to be carried away by the earth. Allowing any obstruction to melt into the earth. And then on your next breath in, breathe in deeply and then breathe out through your mouth. You can sigh it out. You can easily breathe out, whatever you need. And then we're going to slowly start to come back. It's not like we've gone anywhere, but we're going to become aware of the body. You can feel your toes and your fingers. Maybe you start moving a little bit through the toes and the fingers. And if you'd like, you can give yourself a bit of a stretch, maybe. Oops, a yawn. Oh, yawning feels so good. Okay. And then from here, let's see what we're doing. Oh, I remember. From here, you're going to bring your feet back down to the ground. And then you're going to bring your legs in towards your chest. And we're going to start with Apanasana. You can hold your legs side by side. If you want, you can cross at your ankles and just hold your legs. Let your shoulders relax, soften through your hip creases. Give yourself a moment to relax through the pelvis and then re-soften through the hip creases and let your legs become heavy. Take another moment here. And then maybe you can start to gently draw your legs in towards your chest, but try to keep length through your low back. So don't lift your pelvis off the ground. Try to keep length and see if you can imagine or feel that you're extending with the tailbone extending towards the space where your feet are pointing at. And take another breath, soften more through the hip creases. Let your pelvis be heavy, though you're using your arms to hold your legs. Mm. And then from here, you can release and you can bring your feet to the ground for a moment. And then you're going to extend your left leg up and you can hold your left leg or you let go of the left leg. You don't need to straighten through the leg or anything, but rather kind of soften through your ankle and begin to move a little bit through your toes. Just create some space in between the toes. Wiggle. See if you can move each toe individually. It's always fun to try. See if you can move your big toe and kind of you can notice like what other toes are moving when you do that. Everything is all connected. Can you move your third toe individually? Yeah, probably not. Even though if you can do, let me know. All right, and then you're gonna release the toes. You're gonna stop moving the toes and just give yourself a couple of circles through your ankle, focusing on the ankle. Try not to point the toes away, but rather just moving through the ankle. And then change the direction of your circles. You don't need to move fast, but you're also not moving necessarily with your breath. You're breathing and you're moving through the ankle, aware of the sensation, aware of how it feels. And then we're going to release and bring the leg back down. You can take a moment and observe, see how it feels one side compared to the other. And then we're going to take the right leg up. And you can hold your leg or you don't hold your leg. Soften through your knee, through the ankle, and then begin to move the toes in your right foot or the toes of your right foot. And just creating some space, making some toe fists. Again, see if you can move your toes individually. I actually don't think I've ever heard from anyone that they could move each toe on its own, but it's always, I'm still looking though. I'm still searching. All right, and then we're going to relax the toes and we're going to give ourselves a couple of circles through the ankles. So if you've been doing yoga with me for a while, then you know that we always warm up through the joints. And um, part of this warm up is actually really good for the Vata. Like every time you hear a crack in your joint, change the direction of the circles in the ankle first. Every time you hear a crack in your joint, that is actually the air that is leaving the joint. So that is the Vata. So by doing these movements, like lubricating the joints, we're actually already working with the Vata. So, we do this always in our practice. All right. And then you can stop with the ankle and bring your foot down and give yourself a breath. Huh. And now, my favorite. We're going to bring the legs in towards the chest and we're going to create individual circles with the thigh bones in the hip socket. I know that was a mouthful, but here's what we're doing. Bring your big toes to touch and you can let your feet dangle. And then you're going to hold your knees, or maybe you hold your pant leg or you hold your thighs. But the idea is for your legs not to do any effort. It's really you're using your arms. If you can't reach your legs, then you can also use two straps or two belts or, two scarves and just have them around your thighs. And then we're going to create those circles. So to begin with, big toes touch, and then bring your legs in towards each other, and then draw them in gently towards the chest. You don't need to lift your pelvis up. Now take a breath in, and then a breath out. And on your next breath in, push your legs away from the chest, separate them, take them out to the side, and then draw them back in towards the chest as you exhale, inhaling away and out, and exhale as the knees come in towards the chest and in towards each other. Big toes stay touching, and here we are moving with the breath. So when you inhale, there's space in between the legs and there's space above your chest and above the belly. And as you exhale, your legs are drawing in towards each other and into the chest. Use your arms to create the movement. Let your legs be as relaxed as they can. Soften through the hip creases, soften through the pelvis. Then you can draw your awareness into your hip sockets. You can be present there. You can be aware. Okay, and we're going to also change the direction. So next time you have your knees in towards the chest, that's going to be a full exhalation. And then go back. Inhale, take them out and away from your chest. And you exhale, you draw them in. You inhale, away, out and away. And as you exhale, you draw them in. Still softening through the hip creases. And now maybe that because you have already warmed up a little bit, maybe now you're going to start noticing your pelvis rocking a little bit up and down. And if you're enjoying that kind of massage in the low back, then please continue. If you're not enjoying it, then let your pelvis stay steady and just focus on thigh bone in the hip socket, moving and easefully, gently in a steady rhythm, in a nourishing way, opening through the hips, warming up, releasing any stagnant air. All right, and then next time you exhale, again, your legs are going to be in towards the chest, full exhalation. And then you can release and bring your feet back down. Give yourself a moment, check in with yourself. How does it feel? Okay. Now come in such a way that you can see what I'm doing. And after that, you will be doing it. You want to have space around you and behind you as well, so that you don't knock over anything. And basically what we're doing is we're going to be rolling from one side to another. And how do we do that? So from where you are on the mat, lying on your back, even though now you're on your side to see, after that, you're going to be lying on your back with your knees bent, with your arms spread. And then to turn from one side to another, you're going to lead with your hand or arm, hand and arm. So you're going to take your arm, it's going to reach towards the back. And if the hand touches the ground, that's fine. If it doesn't touch the ground, that's fine as well. It doesn't matter. So you're just leading towards the back. And as you do, you're creating sort of a semicircle. And then you end up on your side. Yes? Your knees can come in as well. And then to turn back onto your back, you're going to go back the same way. So your arm reaches back, your pelvis lifts up, and you're coming back center. And then to turn to the other side, we're going to do the same way. So you can imagine, if you want, that you have a chalk, that you have a chalk in your hand, and you're just kind of drawing a half moon as you're moving from side to side. And we're going to do this, so you can begin whenever you feel like you're ready. We're going to do this a few times. It's playful, it is creative, it is very Vata, and it is also a very grounding practice because we are doing it on the ground, on the earth. It is steady, it can be extremely nourishing to play around, to roll around, and it can be also very nurturing. And feel free to experiment with this. You don't have to do everything that I've said, or maybe you want to add something. Maybe as you're rolling from side to side, you discover that, I can take my legs up. And your feet are not on the ground, and you're playing a little bit with the legs as you're rolling from side to side. You can, you can play with extending one leg, and maybe you touch it with your hand, and then you come back. So do feel free to experiment, to play a little bit. Being creative, maybe even a little bit spontaneous. Then give yourself a few more rounds, just rolling from one side to another. And then next time you arrive on your side, whichever side that may be, you're also going to finish there. You can give yourself another moment or two. See how it feels? And then we are going to come up. And we're going to come into a seat. It can be any kind of a seat. We're not going to be here for too long. We're just here to warm up through the wrists. So if you want, you can sit on your heels, or you can take a couple of blocks and sit on the blocks in between your feet, or you take a blanket and you bring it in between your buttocks and your feet, or you just come onto a blanket or support, wherever you want to be. Cross-legged, legs extended, your choice. Too much freedom. And then let your arms extend in front of you. Open the palms towards the space in front of you and let your shoulders come down. Spread the shoulders, straighten through the elbows as much as you can, and take a moment and press with the heels of your palms into the space in front of you. You may be even bending a little bit through your fingers. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, take the fingers down towards the earth and then pull your fingers towards your forearms and press with the top of your hand into that space. And then inhale, open, press the heels of the palms, shoulders stay down. And as you exhale, fingers draw in, press with the top of the hand. Inhale, spread through the fingers, press. And exhale, draw down, press with the top of the hand. One more time, inhale. And then as you exhale, interlock your fingers. Breathe in, open the palms towards the space in front of you. And as you breathe out, lift your arms up to the sky and bring the chin in towards the chest. Take another breath in and press higher up. And then as you exhale, release. Bring the arms to shoulder height. Release the interlock. Open and close the palms a couple of times, starting from your pinky finger through the other fingers and thumb. So you start from the pinky, closing one finger at a time, thumb comes last. And to open, thumb first, index, middle, ring, pinky. And do that a couple of times and see if you can kind of coordinate that. And you can look at your hands, or maybe you're not looking at your hands. All right. And then you can relax your fingers. One more time, you're going to interlock the hands and do it the weird way, whatever does not feel natural for you. And then take a breath in, open the palms towards the space in front of you, straighten the elbows. Exhale, lift the arms up, press the palms into the sky, chin into the chest. Take another breath in, press up. And exhale, release. And bring the arms back down, and you can release. We're going to come off our seat. And if you'd like, you can bring your blocks in now. And if you wanted to pad up, like extra padding for the knees, now is the time to bring that extra padding. And we're going to do a little bit of a smooth Vata kind of flow here. May I No, she doesn't want to go. Okay, she's going to stay. Okay, friends. So we're going to come into tabletop, and you're going to have your toes tucked under. And you're going to reach back, have your blocks underneath your hands, and start reaching back for just a few breaths here. See if you can find some space and some length. Keep your head up. You don't need to bring your forehead down. Your hands are as wide as your shoulders. Your feet are as wide as your hips. Your knees are as wide as your hips. Don't let your belly come down. Don't let the chest come down, but rather press into the hands and press into the back of the toes. And let your pelvis, your buttocks, move towards your heels. You're not touching your heels, but by taking the pelvis back and reaching the arms forward, you're finding more length through the sides of the body, through the center of the body. Take a nice big deep breath in and feel your lungs up, and notice what that does to the upper body, opening through the rib cage, through your sideways, through the belly, through the back body. And then as you exhale, draw it towards center. Take another big breath in like that. And exhale, reach further back. Okay, look in between the hands, come a little bit higher up, and then untuck your toes. So if you want, you can have a look, and I'll show you what we're doing. You can use the blocks. You may not need them, so feel free to experiment with having blocks, not having blocks. I'm just going to keep them for the sake of it. So we're going to be in this kind of extended child's pose. The toes will be untucked. And this is what we're doing. We're not necessarily moving with the breath. We're moving and breathing. So maybe coming up on an exhalation, we're going to, with a rounded spine, we'll come up. And then as we reach forward, shoulders over wrists, you're going to let your chest open and you're taking your gaze forward. And then to come back, you're going to have an arched spine. So your pelvis is leaning back, but you're not overarching through your low back. So there shouldn't be any pinching in the low back. And then we're going to reach back here. So we're coming up with a rounded spine. We're letting the chest come forward, maybe the hips to lower. Now, don't go with the hips all the way down and your shoulders into your neck, because that's going to be really difficult to come back from there. So there's a slight engagement. And then to go back, we're finding an arch through the spine. I hope that makes sense. So coming into this variation of child's pose, so you can have your legs together-ish. They don't need to be touching, but make sure your big toes are touching and your hands as wide as your shoulders on the blocks or on the ground. And when you're ready, take a breath in. And with your breath out, round your spine, push into the hands and feet and rise up. Inhale, let your chest reach forward. Take the gaze up, shoulders away from the neck. Slight engagement in the belly. Breathe out, let your pelvis move back, arch through the spine, reach back. And as you inhale, you find length through the spine again. Exhale, press into the floor, round the spine, lift up. And inhale, as you let your chest come forward, gaze forward. Exhale, pelvis goes up, arching through the spine, reach back. Inhale, lengthen spine, head stays up. Exhale, round the spine, reach up, come up, press into the feet, use your hands. And as you inhale, let your chest come forward, shoulders away from the neck. Exhale, push into the hands, let your pelvis take you back with an arched spine. And as you inhale, find length. On your next exhalation, again, round the spine, come up. And inhale, chest forward. We're going to add something to this now. Exhale, reach back. And as you inhale, you're going to come up. You're going to rise up. You look forward. You take your arms up. You come all the way up. You can look up. And then exhale, bring your hands to the heart. We're going to move. We're not necessarily breathing with the movement. We're just breathing. Let your right arm reach up towards the sky. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, your pelvis stays as it is, or maybe it moves slightly forward as you're engaging a little bit through the buttocks. And then you circle the arm back, and maybe you touch your heel, or maybe you touch the back of your thigh. And as you inhale, you roll the arm back up. Back to the heart. Exhale. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, roll it back. Pelvis stays as it is, or maybe forward. You touch your heel, or maybe you touch the back thigh. And as you inhale, you roll it back up. Exhale to the heart. Let's do it again. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, reach back. You can keep the other hand at the heart. Inhale, sweep back up. And exhale to the heart. And one more time on the other side. Inhale, left arm reaches up. And exhale, reach it back. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale to the heart. Now, continue to breathe. You can keep your hands at your heart, or you're going to take your blocks, and we're going to step the left foot forward into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So you either step your left foot forward without using blocks, or you take your blocks, you step your left foot forward. And then you can stay with your blocks, you can stay on the blocks, or steady in your front foot, you come up onto your front thigh, and then we meet with the hands at the heart. The back toes can stay untucked. Your pelvis is reaching down towards the earth. Your front knee is in line with your front ankle. Let your shoulders roll back. Let your chest widen. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out with the pelvis, with the tailbone facing down towards the earth, allow your pelvis to move forward. So you're just lunging forward a little bit. Shoulders stay back. Take another breath in. And this time as you exhale, bend forward, come down. If you've got blocks, you're going to bring the hands onto the blocks. If you don't have blocks, the hands are going to come onto the ground. Tuck your back toes under. And then when you're ready, you're going to lift your back knee up. And then from here, steady, pushing into the front foot. We're going to come all the way up into crescent moon. You can also bring the back knee down and then just lift the back knee up. So kind of depending on how it works better for you. You can lean forward, pick knee up, and then come up. Or from your low lunge with the back knee down, you lift the back knee up. You take a breath here, hands on your hips or hands at your heart. And then bring your back knee down. Use the blocks or hands at the heart. Step your left foot back. And then right foot comes forward. Breathe. You can untuck your back toes. Your pelvis stays down, tailbone stays down, front knee in line with your front ankle. Take a breath in, lift through the low belly. And as you exhale, let your pelvis move forward, slight lunge forward. Chest stays wide, shoulders stay down. Take a breath. And then we're going to come up into that crescent moon. So you either tuck toes under and you lift your back knee up, or you bend forward, you take your blocks, you tuck toes under, you lift your back knee up, and then from there you come up nice and stable. Back heel can be up or back heel is down. You take a breath, and then bend your knee, back knee, bring the knee down. Use the blocks or you don't. Untuck back toes and step your front foot back. From here, sitting on the heels, release the arms, extend forward, child. And we're going to come back to this little flow, and we're going to move into all of these asanas. So come back with blocks or without, as you had before. I'm going to do without blocks now, just so that you have both variations. Take a breath in and a breath out. We're going to try to move with the breath. So when you're ready, on your breath out, round your spine, push up, reach up. Inhale as your chest comes forward, look forward. Exhale, pelvis up, arch the spine, reach back. Inhale, rise all the way up, and this time arms come up. Exhale, keep the left arm as it is. Right arm reaches back, touching the heel or your back thigh. Inhale, right arm rises back up. Exhale, left arm sweeps back, touching heel or touching back thigh. Inhale, left arm comes back up. Bring the hands to the heart or take your blocks. Left foot steps forward, low lunge. Take a breath in to prepare. And as you exhale, pelvis moves forward, chest stays wide. Maybe you look up if it feels comfortable. Take another breath in, look forward. And as you exhale, bend forward, pick the knee up and come up, or tuck toes under, lift your back knee up and come to that crescent moon. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, coming back down to the ground, back knee down. Inhale, step your left foot back. Untuck your toes, and as you exhale, come down to child's or extended child's. Your forehead doesn't need to touch the ground. You can keep the neck long. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then inhale to prepare. Exhale, round your spine, come up. Inhale, chest forward, look forward. Exhale, arching through the spine, reach back. Inhale, press the feet into the ground, rise up all the way up. Exhale, left arm reaches back, circling back, heel or back thigh without taking your pelvis back. Pelvis stays up, forward. Inhale, back up with the arm. Exhale, right arm reaches back, heel or back thigh. Inhale, sweep it back up. Exhale, hands to heart. Take your blocks or stay without. Inhale, right foot forward. And as you exhale, you're lunging forward. Chest stays wide, shoulders stay down. Inhale, prepare, tuck toes under. And as you exhale, pick your back knee up. Take a breath in and out here. And then from here, take a breath in. Whoops. And as you exhale, bring your back knee down. Untuck your back toe, step your front foot back. And as you exhale, come down into child's. And this time you can rest here. If you want, you can take a block, or maybe you have a rolled up blanket. You can rest your forehead down. You can let your hands rest towards your feet. If this is not comfortable and you've had enough of being on your knees, then please lie on your side. With the knees curled in, you can make a pillow out of your forearm and allow yourself a couple of moments. Notice how you feel. Okay. Lovely. And then from here, you're gonna come up. So if you were in child's pose, you can round your spine up and come up. If you were lying on your side, push into the hand and come up. You can sit on the floor, though I would always suggest you have a little bit of height. We're gonna do one more thing. And for that, I would recommend a little bit of a seat here. I think I also need to switch the lights on. Give me a second. There we are. It's getting awfully dark outside. Okay. So a little bit of a blanket or a towel or whatever you have hanging around. And then you're going to have your legs extended in front of you. You don't need to engage your legs. They'll be relaxed. If you know you have hyperextension in your knees, then you might want to take another blanket. You roll it up and you bring it underneath your thighs like that. So your knees are not hyperextending. if you find that your knees are bending when you're sitting down, then you're going to need more height underneath your seat. So maybe you take another blanket. Okay, your feet separate, maybe about as wide as your hips. And then extend your arms in front of you. Palms will stay down towards the earth. Let your shoulders roll down and keep the spine long. Give yourself a breath in when you're ready. And then as you breathe out, reach forward. You can bend through the knees as you reach forward. And as you inhale, you're going to reach back. You don't need to go too far back. Maybe you're engaging through the legs as you reach back. Exhale, reaching forward. And inhale, reaching back. And exhale as you move forward. And inhale as you reach back. Shoulders stay down, chest stays wide. And continue like this, moving like this. This is part of the Pavanmuktasana Vinyasa. So the whole Pavanmuktasana series, which are a series of Hatha yoga, they're all really good for Vata. To keep Vata in balance, to work with a Vata kind of energy. Exhale, reaching forward. You can round the spine. You can even bring your head down if you'd like. Inhale, reach back. Try to keep your shoulders and arms in the same line. Wrists and hands as well. Just a few more. And then next time we exhale, we're going to come forward. We can also let ourselves slump forward. So you can let your spine round. You can let your head hang down. You can let your arms relax. And if you feel like there's a lot of tightness at the back of your legs, then bend your knees. Maybe bring the feet to the ground and wrap your arms around the outer side, outer edge of your legs. And you can let your neck and head come down towards the earth. And give yourself a moment here. Take another breath. Yeah. And then start to round your spine up, come up. And now you're going to get yourself the props you need for a seated pranayama, followed by a little bit of meditation. So we want to use enough props that the spine is upright but relaxed. So go get your props. Make sure your knees will be supported as well. You can use blocks for your knees or you use rolled up blankets. And then we'll take that seat. All right. You can stay with your legs crossed or you can have your legs extended in front of you. You'll see what works better and you can also change your mind. Once you're in it, you can change your mind. All right, let's get a watch here to see the time. Okay, we still have time. Good. I don't want to keep you over again. All right, now once we arrive, you can let your hands rest onto your knees or on your thighs, in your lap, wherever it feels comfortable. Do take a moment to settle here and see if you may need any other adjustments. What happens if you relax through your belly? What happens if you're relaxing through your legs, through your thighs? Are you going to round and slump back? Then you're going to need more height. Are your knees higher than your hips? You're going to need more height. Can your shoulders relax? Can your neck find some length here? Allow your sit bones to ground into your seat. And hopefully you have everything you need so that we can do a twist. We're going to twist towards the left. So you're going to make a fist with your left hand and bring it onto the prop behind you. And your right hand can come onto your left knee or thigh. Press into the hand that's behind you. Press into that fist. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, use the arms and twist through your rib cage. Let your rib cage twist towards the left. Untwist the neck. Look at your left knee. Take another breath in. Exhale, twist some more. And now you can look at your back shoulder, left shoulder. Take another round of breath here. Keep pressing into the fist behind you. And then untwist, come center. Let's take it to the other side. Make a fist with your right hand. Bring it onto the prop behind you or onto the ground. Just make sure if you have a high seat, if you're going to want to bring your fist on the ground, you're going to be leaning back like that. And we don't want that. We want the spine to be upright. So if you need more propping for your fist, then you can take a block and bring it behind you or another stack of blankets. Your left hand onto your right knee or thigh. Take a breath in, press into the fist behind you. Exhale, twist. Look at your right knee. Let the shoulder stay down. Take another breath in. Twist some more. And then you can turn your gaze and you can look at you can look towards the shoulder behind you. So your right shoulder. Take another breath. And then untwist and come to center. We're going to finish our practice today with Anulom Viloma, alternate nostril breathing. Out of all the pranayamas, this is, I think, one of the most perfect ones for anyone who wants to balance their Vata or who wants to bring their Vata into harmony. Because it is a very soothing practice. It is a very soothing practice if you have no obstructions through the sinuses, through the nostrils. So alternate nostril breathing, it's very balancing because it balances the right and the left hemisphere of the brain. And it also clears out through the energetic channels, through the right and the left energetic channel. It increases prana. Now, because this happens very often, if this breathing practice, if this pranayama does not feel comfortable for you, because this is an evening class, ideally we do pranayama early in the morning when the nasal passage is all cleared out. So in the evening, sometimes I find that it actually can become obstructive. So what you can do is blow your nose. You try that. But if you continue the practice and it feels like you're hungry for air or you find it difficult, that's actually going to exaggerate Vata. Because if there's a feeling of being uncomfortable, maybe there's a feeling of being unsafe. When we feel like there's not enough air to breathe, that can lead to a sense of fear or panic. So we want to avoid all of that. So whenever we do alternate nostril breathing, we use the hand, we use the mudra, we use the right thumb to cover the right nostril, and we use the right ring finger to cover the left nostril. But when you're doing it, if you notice that obstruction and it is not going away, then you're going to relax your hand back onto your knee or thigh, and you're going to continue the pranayama with your awareness, with your focus. So you're going to imagine, sense, or feel that you're breathing in through one nostril, and imagine, sense, or feel that you're breathing out through the other. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And a reminder, the mudra that you can take is on the right hand. You take your index middle finger at the point between the eyebrows and you have your ring and thumb free, or you bring the index middle finger into the palm and you have your thumb ring finger free. So prepare the hand in whichever way you'd like. And allow yourself a couple of moments. Take a few breaths in and out. You relax through your facial muscles, soften through your jaw, your tongue. You can soften your gaze, or maybe you choose to close your eyes, whatever feels safe and comfortable to do. And then on your next breath in, cover your right nostril and inhale through your left. And then cover left and exhale right. Inhale right and exhale left. Inhale left and exhale right. Inhale right and exhale left. Inhale that same left nostril and exhale through the other. Inhale, same one, and exhale through the other. Inhale, same one, and exhale through the other. Inhale, same nostril. Exhale through the other. Continue like this at your own pace. Inhaling through one nostril and exhaling through the other. And as you breathe, as you're moving your breath through the nostrils, can you notice the sound of your breath? Maybe you notice the sound so as you breathe in, and the sound hum on your breath out. Breathing in so, and breathing out hum. And you can add this, the repetition of this sound into your mind as you breathe in the sound so, and as you breathe out the sound hum. So, hum, which is the mantra of breath. And it means I am that. Breathing in the mantra so, and breathing out the mantra hum. Inhaling through one nostril, exhaling through the other. Inhaling through that same one and exhaling through the other. Breathing in the mantra so, breathing out the mantra hum. And after your next exhalation through your left nostril, you can release the hand, breathing in and out through both nostrils, but continuing with the mantra mentally. Breathing in so, breathing out hum. So, hum, so, hum, so, hum. Noticing that this sound is embedded in your breath. And it is a never-ending sound. It is a never-ending mantra. whether you're aware of it or not. Whenever you're breathing with this mantra. So hum, I am that. Hum, so that I am. After your next breath out, you can release the mantra mentally, though we never really release it. It's always there. It's embedded in your breath. And then if you'd like, you can bring your hands to your heart. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Give yourself a breath into your heart. And as you breathe out, bow the head down to the heart. So hum, so. You are that. That you are indeed. Om Shanti. You can rub your palms together, creating some heat. And then cover your face, your eyes. When you're ready to come back, blink your eyes open, look at your palms. Continue to look at your palms as you release and come back. Thank you very much. So I hope you enjoy today's practice. And you can always practice the Soham meditation on its own. You don't need to combine it with alternate nostril breathing. You can just sit for meditation, lie down, sit on a chair. And as you breathe, you're breathing in, you're bringing in the sound. So on the breath in, hum on the breath out. And it becomes this continuous cycle. So hum so hum so hum so hum so. I am that I am. What is it that I am? I am that infinite reality. I am the five elements. That I am. That you are. We all are. So it really is a wonderful practice. It's a great meditation, especially before going to sleep. If you have any trouble sleeping, that there might be some Vata disturbance there. So it's a really nice practice to do before bedtime. And because it is about Vata today, I'm going to give you one more little practice that you can try to balance any kind of agitation, let's say, or if you have trouble sleeping. Before you go to sleep, before you go to bed, you can warm up some oil. It can be coconut oil, it can be sesame oil. Sesame oil ideal for Vata, but let's say coconut oil because that's more likely that you have it in the house. You warm it up and you massage your feet with warm oil before going to bed. And I can guarantee you're going to have a good night's sleep. So let me know if you try it. And I'm going to see you. I wanted to say next week, but I'll see you on Thursday if you come live. Otherwise, I shall see you when I see you, maybe next week. Thank you for your practice today. I'm going to stop the recording now.